There's a major difference between being wealthy and being rich. And the unfortunate thing about the concept of riches has been so compromised just about materialistic things that we tend to forget about our inner beauty and our greater faculties that desire and deserve a whole lot of abundance. But today, I am going to give you a little bit of a practical overview on what it means to be wealthy versus just being rich or just doing okay. What are some of the things that I have discovered and learned myself over the last 3 to 5 years that have changed my life and my family's life in a direction that most people just dream of? So I hope you are ready because this is the ME Show.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. Oh, I just can't give up. I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Welcome, one and all. Ali Madawi in here. Let me know where you're chiming in from, and definitely if you are an entrepreneur or hopeful one, because we do help struggling entrepreneurs to leverage the social media space and the digital space to create brand equity and revenue. And today, I want to talk to you about 9 simple principles that I believe the wealthy takes advantage of. I can 100% assure you that I have taken advantage of it myself to create a lifestyle that my family and I get to enjoy every single day. So the very first thing that I want to make sure that it is crystal clear, I don't claim to know it all. I certainly don't sit here and profess about being wealthy is everything, right? But when you have resources and you have financial abundance, you can bless so many people that are around you. As you've heard me many times, I talk about I didn't want to be a millionaire to be a millionaire. I wanted to be a millionaire to donate $100,000 a year. And I understood, because I committed out loud that I'm going to give away $100,000, I had no choice but to make $1,000,000. Does that make sense? So you're going to have to understand and be at peace with the concept of wealth and have a good relationship with money, because you can do much more of your own goodness if you have the right resources, and especially financial resources available to you. So I put a little bit of notes. I asked myself, like, well, how could I put the top of the top that I have implemented and applied? And the very first one really that I've made a major shift with was to avoid bad debt like it is a plague. What bad debt is anything that is a liability, not per se an asset, right? Like there are assets out there where we can invest money on something or a company or a product or a service. I can even take out money to put on a property and turn it into an ROI, right? So that's healthy debt. I'm talking about irrelevant debt. I wiped out my car payments. I eliminated every single major loans that I've had. I've eliminated anything that will put me in a position that I owe anyone a single dime. And by having, my even my credit cards, I maintain them just because I'm buying a house, and so like, oh, you got to have activity, and it has to be less than 5%, between 5 to 10% of credit activity, and I did exactly just that, but not a dime more. And that by default allowed me to have a little bit of healthy cash flow, which then I could invest, whether it was on crypto, invest on different markets, invest on opportunities, invest in ourselves to upgrade different areas. So the very first thing that I would advise you is find out ways that you can eliminate and avoid bad debt. Again, there's good debt and there's bad debt. The good debt is the one that creates an asset for you, not a liability. If it is you're running a $2,000 credit just so you can have a fancy watch, that's irrelevant. That's actually bad debt. Unless you are in a collectible watch selling business, that's a different story. But if you are just buying stupidity, I see people who are buying like $300,000 to $500,000 cars credit while their cash flow balance is extremely low or limited, and just so they can show off to people like that. That is not wealth. That is just short-term riches, financial riches only. So you got to make sure that you have a good relationship with the idea of good or bad debt, and definitely avoid any of the bad debt. Number two that I put in here for myself, again, at least this is what I've implemented in the last 3 to 5 years, and that is to invest. Yes, it is the second one. Invest in personal growth. I've had the privilege, the opportunity to work and be mentored by the great late the late Bob Proctor, Dr. Joe Vitale. I've had the opportunity to be around E.T., the hip hop preachers, the Darren Hardys of the world, the Eric Warriors of the world, and shared stages with Deepak Chopra, and just have had the people around me that always brought the light back into you need to grow and you need to develop. In 2021 alone, I've read 97 books and attended probably 20 to 30 different webinars, because of COVID. There was only webinars that I could get my education from. But every opportunity that I get to get personal growth and personal development, I invest more in that than I would invest on a business opportunity. And that's because your mental faculties, or your gifts that you have within your brain, or that divine gifts that you've been blessed with, that you've been created with, they need to be stimulated and activated. And only when you put the right dose of personal growth, it's like cannabinoids, right? I'm not in the CBD business, but you have to have CBD in order to activate your 8 major cannabinoids in your system so you can be the healthiest version of yourself. That's a class for a different day, but that was just an example, right? The point being, if you are the most gifted, intelligent, talented, highest IQ in the room, but you're not investing on developing and growing and nurturing that smart brain of yours, it's as if there's no gifts and faculties at all. It's like having wings and you're sitting down the whole time without even attempting to fly. All right. So that was my number two. My number three, when it comes to the 9 principles of wealth, I put down build an emergency fund. Now, I am not the one to live by, oh my God, things could go wrong, or apocalyptic fundamentals on a day-to-day basis. I am the most optimistic person. People tell me, oh, there's global warming, which I agree and I understand and I see it. But the ignorance of not knowing that there is a solution that's being made right now is the reason why there is a major problem, because people are not focused on the actual solution itself or creating a solution. They're just focused like, we're all going to die. And the other side of the political conversation is like, no one is going to die. It's irrelevant. So instead of just being focused on the solution, we are focusing on the problems. And that's why we are never coming up with solutions. Look at what happened over the last 2.5 years. Coronavirus came, it devoured a whole lot of people. It was bad. I lost all of my grandparents, literally from both sides to it. I understand it is a real horrific thing. But in a matter of 2 years, the world came together and created many solutions, whether it was through vaccinations or not. I'm not professing one way or the other, but we were solution driven after we realized enough is enough with this plague. And then ta-da, the world is back to normal. We have done as human beings what normally takes 6 to 10 years to develop vaccinations or different methods, natural or else, to beat a disease in a matter of a year, because that was really just in 2020. So understand that as people, we are gifted with the abilities to create the solutions. So instead of, complaining about the bad, focus on the good. So I usually don't live on 100% of my income. As a matter of fact, my goal is to live, and I do my very best to keep it at 20%. So if I make $1 million, I'm only living on 200,000. If I make, 500,000, I'm only going to live on 100,000. And the reason you do that is because, not because I put money under the mattress, but you want to have your money work for you. And again, if I learned anything in the last 15 years, nothing lasts forever. Everything has a season, and life is a bunch of segments and chapters. So in the case that what I am doing right now is deemed no longer available or allowed or not possible or whatever the case may be, I want to make sure that I have a ready to go, bounce back within 24 hours game plan. And that's why wealthy people always have that available to them. Number 4, I put build your all-star team. Now, I used to think when I become rich, then I have a team. And then when I build a team, then I became ridiculously wealthy in every area of my life, in time, in happiness, in calm mindset, in so many different ways. So you got to understand, you have to build an all-star team. Now, I am blessed that I have a VA department within our company. We have a social media department within our company. We have a business development. We have a digital development department. We have sales teams. We have it all, right? And I only collaborate with the best of the best that can create results in a win-win-win for everybody. So the moment I've built an all-star team, I am no longer a one-man show. And the fact that I relieved myself from having to be every role for every position, for every client and every colleague and every opportunity or company, I've onboarded literally, 20 plus individuals that are in place right now, and they have their own teams across the globe. And through those 20 superstars, we are able to cater, help serve our communities, to help serve our partners, our clients, and the opportunities that we are part of in the utmost top superstar way possible, because you cannot do everything. If you own a restaurant right now, you can't be in the kitchen and then in the bar and then the host stand and then in the table serving, and then you can't. You have to build an all-star team. So you may say, well, I don't really have the budget for it. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, I understand that, but you don't have to hire 20 people right away and pay them $5,000 a month. What you have to do or can do is find someone that has a gift that you desire. You may find somebody who's really good at digital marketing and you are really good at sales. And you say, I'll teach you all things that I do within sales, and I'll even sell your product to my community. And I want you to do everything for me, digital marketing. And it'll be a win-win. See, that's how I started. And then I added more and I added more and I added more. And when we developed and created a win-win for everybody, it just became, their cost became part of our margins. And then we adopted their companies within our own. So build an all-star team and watch the magic happen for you. An all-star team can be just you plus one, by the way. So just get it started. I may even advise you go to upwork.com. That's UPWORK.com. And you can find yourself a virtual assistant or somebody that you desire at a price point that is feasible for you. Or you can reach out to me and we can help you out and work with you in any way, shape, or form. Number 5 is, and this is big, invest your income. So remember, I said we do our very best to live on 20% of our revenue. So what do we do with the rest? Well, obviously we have teams, we have organizations that we are working for, with, and they work with us and for us as well. So there's always cash flow that needs to be available to be moving and recycled from one area to another. But at the same exact time, we invest in the markets. Like I don't let my money sit in a checking account. Our money is in the market. And I am a long-term investor. I'm not a short-term trader, at least not yet. I am learning. But I am a long-term kind of guy. So I will put money in the markets. I will put money in crypto and let it grow over a period of time. And of course, if there's the right opportunity, we invest in that space as well. So definitely always invest. And the reason I say always invest, because this creates, which is number 6 for me, it creates passive income. So passive income is not, I'm going to recruit 3 people and go to sleep. And, no, passive income is you serving, creating, sustaining, and maintaining systems that are continually and constantly are recreating financial transactions, whether it's a product sale or service sale or consulting or what have you. So please, please, please clean up your dictionary about passive income. People have been convinced that passive income is never working again and I'm making money. While there is some truth to that, but you have to work really, 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 really hard at first to develop a system that is building and creating wealth and financials as you are active. And once you get it on cruise control where it's operating and making money without you, then you can go and add another source of income, and another source of income. So many people that I talk to, they make the very, very rookie mistake of, oh, I got to have multiple streams of income. Even if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I'm going to start 3 network marketing companies, 1 affiliate model, and an auto binary options. And then I'm just going to spend money on everything. Well, what you actually did is that you divided your potential, your resources, your limited budget on 7 different opportunities, and you're not going to give any of them 100% of your time, energy, and resources. Imagine if you gave 100% to one and you went ham, all in, crazy. I'm going to make it happen. And then a year to 2 years later, when that's on auto cruise control, then you can add something else and then do the same exact thing. That's what I have done. That's what worked for me. You do whatever works for you, boo. I'm just giving you my own 2 pieces. Number 7 is focus on your goals. So, do you even bother writing your goals down? See, you got to have short term goals and long term goals. And I have daily goals that I write in my journal early in the morning. And it usually is stated in a form of gratitude as if I've already received it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I've already achieved my $7,000 in sales today. I'm so happy and grateful now that I've helped every single human being that comes across from me and achieve their success and their goals. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have the rightful, righteous partners in my life, the right mentors, the right colleagues, the right customers. I'm so happy and grateful now that the kids are healthy and happy. I'm so happy and grateful now. And I just keep on going until my brain gets exhausted of writing those positive pieces that I'm grateful for. And you'll be amazed when it's written down and you are grateful for it as you've achieved it. It becomes an expectation. No, I already said I'm going to eat chicken today. Doesn't matter if I have chicken in the house or not, because I said in the morning, I'm so happy and grateful we're gonna have some chicken. Guess what? I showered and got, my wallet and got in my car and went to the store and looked for the right pieces of chicken and just came home and cooked it, right? Because I said it in the morning. And my life operates that way. If I wrote it and stated it that I've already made it, I'm just going to act on it. So there is the law of action with the law of attraction, of course, which is a sub law of law of vibration. But you got to make sure that you're taking action. So make sure that you are very, very focused on your goal. And the bigger the goal, the more honest, repetitive, and genuine you have to be about it. Sometimes you have to focus on that goal every single day until it comes into fruition. Don't confuse your list. Don't confuse your focus. Just keep giving to what you desire over and over and over and over again, and you will watch the magic happen for you. Number 8 is focus on contentment. This is one of the 4 elements of the law of attraction, which is a sub law of the law of vibration. And where the 4th element of the law of vibration states, and only when you are 100% satisfied with who you are and what you have, then you will receive what you desire and what you've been manifesting. So you can't say, man, I want that red Ferrari with all the amazing features, but I hate my car and I am so done with this piece of garbage. And like the moment you start showcasing to the world, to God, to the universe, to higher power, a sense of resentment and lack of contentment, is the moment that your manifestation is going backwards. You're putting onto the world the wrong vibration. So you are to be content with what you have. I'm not saying satisfied, but content with what you have. In other words, I am happy that I have feet, legs, arms, and a roof above my head, though I desire a 13-room mansion, right? I'm just giving you an example. I don't really care about that, but you can desire as big as you want to, as long as you are extremely humble and grateful for where you are and what you actually have. Number 9 is to give feedback. So to give back rather. The law of generosity is not only a spiritual law, but it is beyond imagination. I was on a Zoom yesterday with Elizabeth Cousins, the CEO of I Am Dreamable, and Dreamable by Elizabeth Cousins, and she was teaching the 5 principal laws that we are to operate in to be better human beings. And then she obviously extracted them from the good book, as she kept referring to it, but from a spiritual place, which I loved the teaching yesterday. And one of the examples that she's given was I believe it was Nightingale, who was at the time the richest man in the world. And Yeah, he made $480 million at that time that he was making annually. And by the time that it was his time to go, well, sorry, let me rephrase that. He accumulated $480 million. He gave away, I think, 80% of that, like 300 and something $million that he gave away. Totally gave it away. And he gave it away with a sense of, I was blessed with this gift to recycle it and give it to everybody else. I have the talent and the faculties and the greatness and the skills that I've been blessed with, the unique abilities that I have. God has put them upon me so I can use them to bless everybody else around me. Not to just be like, ha ha, I have superpowers and you don't. Ha ha, I speak 5 languages and you don't. Ha ha, I know how to build a business and you don't. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's ego. That's flexing. That's horrible. You were blessed because you were supposed to be a trust fund manager. That's how I look at it. God has given me a trust fund, and He said, I'm going to give you all the abilities and as much money as you desire in that trust fund, because I trust you're going to recycle it and bless everybody around you with it as well. The moment you start operating with that mindset, that's why I said my goal was not to make $1 million. My goal was to give away 100,000 a year. And that's when I realized, oh my God, right? If I want to give away 100 grand, I got to make $1 million in order to sustain, maintain, and do what I'm supposed to do. So by default, we focus on let's give away 100,000, and the million just tend to come alongside with it. So you definitely want to make sure that you have these principles in place, and it's got to be aligned. See, when you hear you are out of alignment, all that simply means and states is that you could have, should have, done very well, but one of these elements is not active or is not activated. You're doing 1 out of 9 things, and you may have a 10th of the result that you desire, but that's because you're doing 1 out of the 9 things. So start focusing on the bigger picture. And writing, to your point, Richie had asked, writing is more effective than reading it. Well, I write it, and I usually take about 20 minutes of writing my brains out, as I like to call it. And then I would read it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until it almost becomes like a memory in my head. Then I would meditate, and it just, all those thoughts that I wrote, that I read over and over and over, I start envisioning them. And when you have a clear image, you just start following and trusting your inner self and acting on that image. Like, I already know who I'm talking to today because I already spoke to them in my mind earlier this morning. I already know who's doing what, where our money's coming from, who are we blessing, who are we collaborating and coordinating our day with, because I've seen it at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, and how often? Every single day I do it. There's not a single day that goes by. And don't let me wrong, I do have lazy days sometimes. Sunday, I tend to let myself sleep a little bit longer. So maybe 5:30. But Monday through Saturday, that 4 o'clock, man, it's just like, I'm already out of bed. 3:30 to 4 o'clock, that's where I'm just laying down, and my head is just rerunning the engine from yesterday and doing some oil changes. And then I get out of bed at 4 and I start my my routine, if you will. But definitely make sure that you are operating as much as you can. As far as how many times a day that I do this, so at least early in the morning is non-negotiable for me. It doesn't matter what happens. But I do nap because I wake up in the morning, early in the morning. I do sneak in a nap. So usually my nap is a meditative nap. I don't go to sleep in bed and cover in blankets. But we have an extra room that is dedicated to just spa style, and I would literally sit in there and I would take one of the puffs, and I'll just lay down on it, and headphones in my ear, and whichever guided meditation that is operating within that 20 minutes or so is where I would close my eyes. But that's another active way to meditate. And trust me, meditation doesn't have to be isolation, in a dark room with headphones in your ear or kumbaya music. No, I sometimes meditate in a traffic light. Like, literally, as soon as that light goes on, I'll put the car in park and I will just take 30 seconds to myself, and I will just reset, because I might have had the wrong mindset, or I might have had the wrong thought in that moment, or somebody just upset me because they cut me off. Remember, I'm human just like you. But my reset mechanism is a lot stronger than most because I've practiced it every single day. And I protect myself from the world. I like to go out. I like to party. I like to club out. I like to live with my wife, and we do live very, very happy. But at the same time, I protect myself from any distractions when I need to be at my best behavior. This is why we are homebodies. We spend probably 80% of our life in our home, but we put together a home that we don't need to, take a break from or get out of. But the point being is, create a system for you that no matter where you are, you can implement it, even if it's just a short, small dose. So I hope that these helped you out. I appreciate your time. I really, really love spending these morning sessions with you. And today at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be taking part of an educational trading platform, and I'm going to be sharing my perspective as to why you should be taking advantage and diversifying your portfolio as well. As you know, I started a live account and I started trading 2 weeks ago. And I'm sharing it with the world. So tonight, if you want to learn some more, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just DM me and I'll definitely will give you access so you can learn some more. But other than that, I love and I appreciate the Jesus out of you, because you are just amazing. So stay awesome. Have yourself an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon.